And we are live. Welcome back to the IKANTEVEN podcast with Cabe and Lakota. And our special guest on this episode is Mr. Zachseabaugh.
What up?
Zachseabaugh himself.
Good to be here.
Man, we've been talking about having you on this podcast for months
a minute, like 3 or 4 months.
Real? Well, good timing. I'm glad we can do it now for sure.
Absolutely. And you actually have a new single coming out. I guess we should explain who you are for people who don't know.
Yeah.
I'll give an intro.
Do it,
Gabe.
So, this is Zachary Taylor Seabaugh, one of my good buddies. If you remember the Reigns episode, he is managed by Reigns and lives with Reigns. Although Reigns is not here right now, he is home in Georgia. Zach is a recording artist who has an angelic voice. And forgets verses to his songs sometime when he plays them live.
Hey, that was not my fault.
That's okay. So welcome on the podcast, Zach.
Thank you. What up? I do actually songs all the time.
People actually might recognize you if you watch The Voice. You were on a season of The Voice, right?
Dude, they're on season 20 in a couple weeks.
Dude, that was like 4 years ago. How did they do 11 seasons in 4 years?
Well, they do 2 a year.
That's a lot.
But I saw that I was like scrolling that said season 20.
It's like, dang,
pretty wild.
That's crazy. And you finished what, like 5th place or something like that?
You can call it 5th place. It was the final 9, and it was down to 3 of us to get kicked off, and for one person to stay. So I consider it.
And you were really young. You were like what, 16?
Well, I was 17, turned 18 on the show, but the whole process started, around the age of 16 when I started to like.
How did they reach out to you?
Yeah, let's talk about that because I always find this interesting.
The Voice is different too than the other shows. Like
like American Idol, they do like really big open auditions, right?
Open auditions, but The Voice, they do that, I think, as well as like reaching out to people to come on the show, right?
Yeah, I can speak on behalf of like the cattle call, which everyone knows about. It's like American Idol, they pretty much air their cattle call where everybody stands in long lines and waits their turn. And they had one of those for The Voice. They had one in Atlanta. And I think, I don't want to get my numbers wrong, but it was like more than like 20,000 people auditioned for The Voice that season.
Crap.
Like nationwide. I think they go to like 5 major cities. Atlanta was one for my season. And I don't even know how I heard about it. I thought
you said your mom did it.
Well, my mom signed me up. I was in school. I think it was a classmate.
Oh, okay.
I was in math class, and she had mentioned it, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And I just wanted to not go to school the next day. Yeah, I was Ferris Bueller.
And then he ended up getting 5th place.
Yeah, I was like, "Mom,
like crazy.
I will go audition for The Voice if I don't have to go." I mean, it meant.
Dude,
that didn't necessarily seal the deal, but in my head, I was like, "Oh, I can miss school. That's cool."
That's funny.
So how did it feel like? I mean, you just like nonchalantly went and was like, "Fuck it, I'll go."
Yeah.
And you show up. You're there. A lot of people who have been preparing for this. This is their like big break, right? And you're like, "Oh, I get to miss school." How was that experience? Just like waiting in line, getting to know the other contestants. And, and then performing in front of the judges.
The process for me looking back and what I'm like extremely grateful about is that the anxiety wasn't there because of how nonchalant of a move it was for me to be like, "Oh yeah, I'll go audition." I really wasn't trying to like necessarily prove myself. Like it wasn't like, "Oh, like I'm going to audition." It was very chill, and I was just like, "Oh, I'm gonna go sing music that I like." I sang a Jack Johnson song, and then I sang what was it? I think it was Folsom Prison Blues by Johnny Cash.
Nice.
I sang
a hell of an audition.
I sang Folsom Prison Blues first, and then I sang Sitting Waiting Wishing.
So is it just you like in a room with producers, or is it like you and 20 people and you all sing or whatever?
No, it's a room with a panel of people, and then 10 people go into a room at a time. Everybody stands up, they take a verse and a chorus. I'm not like breaking confidentiality because you can go audition for The Voice and see it for yourself. But
that's cool.
That is crazy. And then how long was it from when you auditioned till you knew, okay, I'm actually going to be on the show?
Well, I don't want to spill all the details about that process because the one thing I knew a guy's name was Pip Arnold. I think that was Pip. They called him Pip.
Maybe that's not his name.
Well, that was his stage name, but he was on The Voice and he was from Marietta. And I was like, dude, I'm going on the show. Like, I'm auditioning. And like, you were from Marietta, and he was super nice. And I actually met up with him in LA a couple times when I was out there.
Was he on your season?
No, he was a couple seasons before.
Oh, okay.
But he went pretty far. I forgot what season it was for him. It was early stages of The Voice. But I was asking him the same questions y'all were asking me. I was like, so what's the timeline here? And he was like, dude, I don't want to tell you because that's the exciting part, you know? So I don't, if you decide to go audition,
I'm not auditioning for The Voice.
And that's the cool
I'm not
part.
either.
That's the cool part about making that. But as far as when I got on the show and the contestants, dude, we became family. I mean, especially
you're Emily Ann, right?
Yeah, Emily Ann.
She was here
like my
day.
sister.
Yeah, she's super, super cool.
She was. I mean, I was going to school with those people. Barrett Baber.
Yeah, what's that like to be a kid? Like, is it literally like you have a tutor or?
Yeah, we had like a school teacher out there. It was basically
dude, that's crazy.
It's like a substitute teacher. So if you needed help with something, you'd
ask But were you still getting like? Were you still doing school in Georgia, quote unquote? And you were like,
it was virtual.
It was so you were still getting your degree or your diploma from your high school.
Okay. I was still in school. I didn't drop out.
Yeah, that's cool. That's super
that is
dope.
cool.
Like a night of a performance, because we were West Coast time. It would be. Let's see. We would go like for the live shows. We would go on at like 5 p.m. because it aired 8 p.m.
So they were live though. Like it was legit live.
Live was live.
Okay, I didn't realize that. I figured that they just orchestrated it to look like it was live.
3 o'clock that day, I would have to knock out school hours because like by law you have to do so many hours. So like before going on live television, I'm like doing a science test.
Dude, that's crazy.
That's nuts.
Y equals mx plus b. Yeah. Right before you go on. That's hilarious.
And I remember a history class, I had to make like a children's book about some era of history.
That's hilarious.
So that's crazy. So you had to balance that work life, you know, doing school and then also being on the show.
Yeah.
Was that hard to balance or was it?
Well, my mom was out there with me because I was not 18. Okay. So she, you know, it was. I had a mom out there.
Yeah.
That helped.
Not a mom, your mom.
That helped a lot. Yeah.
The lady.
Yeah.
That's dope.
She helped keep me.
No, the studio assigned him a mom, Cabe. That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
So you were on The Voice and then that was what, 2016?
Dude, that was 2015.
That was 2015.
Yeah.
And then
2015.
You went to MTSU in 2017, right?
I don't think that was.
Because you pledged in 2017.
I don't know when I was on The Voice. I think it was 2015.
Dude, I don't know. Let me look up The Voice season 9 real quick.
That's
crazy. So did you pledge? Are you a member of the fraternity?
I was in Phi Delta for a little bit, and then I moved from Murfreesboro to Nashville recently. So college has been a little weird.
Yeah, it premiered.
I had a premiered
September 21st, 2015 was when it premiered until December, September to December.
Wow, 2015.
Dude, that's crazy.
It's
that feels
2021.
6 years ago.
Dude, I feel like that was yesterday.
Yeah, that's wild. Anyways, back to what you were saying about MTSU.
Yeah, I was in Phi Delta, to answer your question.
Okay. Yeah, I was Phi Kappa Theta. Yeah, Phi Kappa Theta. I was the president.
Where?
Up at University of Alaska, Anchorage.
Dude, no way. That's sick.
Yeah.
Rugged, dude. Yeah.
That's
rugged
really
Lakota.
Cool.
Don't get him started.
Did you go skiing or snowboarding, or did you when you went there?
Some of the brothers did. I wasn't a big snowboarder at all. I would do like the hikes. So I would do like brother hikes and shit like that. But there was like one of our fraternity brothers owns, it's called the Bait Shack in Anchorage. It's pretty popular. He'll take you out on tours to go fishing, do ice fishing and stuff like that.
Wow. Dude, that's sick.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then there were some guys that went snowboarding and stuff, but not me. Not me. Unfortunately, that's like the first thing that people ask. Like, oh my God, you grew up in Alaska. How's the skiing and snowboarding?
Is it even popular? Like, it's popular up there, isn't there? You just didn't do it?
It's very popular. There's actually a renowned resort out there called Alyeska, which all of my Alaskan folks know, and it's probably 45 minutes away from Anchorage in Seward, Alaska. Not Seward, Alaska. I'm sorry, Girdwood, Alaska, and that's where all like the hippy dippies live.
Girdwood, Alaska, population
Mhm.
3.
Yeah, the population's really small. It's just a little resort town. We actually call it Girdweed because that's where like all the hippies live.
That's funny. That's funny. So Voice 2015. I guess you graduated. When did you graduate high school? 16. So you were a junior when you were on the Voice.
See, that's what I'm trying to figure out because I graduated high school spring of 2017. So no, that's right because I was technically a senior.
Yeah, you would have been a
2016.
junior. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you graduated
Damn,
2017.
I'm old.
How old are you?
I'll be 28 this year. I graduated 2011.
Wow.
Damn.
I have an older sister that graduated in 2012.
Jeez.
Man,
You guys are young. You got your whole life ahead of you.
You act like
Hey,
you're
you do
old,
too.
dude. You're 28.
dude, you're not even 30 yet.
Man, I'm over the hill.
Over
I'm
the hill.
barely
wow.
chugging along.
Between the age of 23 to I have friends that are 29. Yeah. Well, 29. All right, you're 30.
Yeah, you're 30.
I'm just kidding.
Once you're 29. No,
But there's
it's
so
true.
many
It's
people
true.
that are like,
I'm getting old.
all these young 21-year-olds, and it's like, dude,
It's hilarious. It's like, no, dude, you started Vine. Like, what are you talking
Yeah.
about? You were on the trend a minute ago.
Vine.
So I was explaining this to my wife, April. She's 21, turned 22, so she's really young. And I'm telling her, I'm like, you really like take care of your body now because once you get closer to 30, you really start feeling it. Like
Yeah.
I work as a carpenter now,
I'm 21, bro.
dude.
I look back
Dude,
at pictures of me in high school, and I'm like, damn, that's not the same
Did you play
person,
football?
dude. Yeah,
You did.
I sat the bench, but yeah,
For real?
yeah,
Dude, you're huge.
yeah. I don't know. You can ask my head
Like
coach.
Buddy the Elf. Sorry.
That's right.
not an insult.
That was my peak,
That's-
dude. I
that's
was
not
Buddy
an
the Elf in
insult.
high school. We'll post
You
about it.
were actually
I
Buddy the
swear,
Elf.
I showed you that.
Did you know that?
No,
I was Buddy
You
the
were
Elf
Buddy
in
the
my
Elf?
high school
Play.
play, dude.
that's
what got
awesome.
me to the music industry.
Really?
That is so
Yeah.
awesome.
Hey, theater got me.
We've never talked about that. We've never talked about that.
All right,
Why,
well,
Dude,
why have
that's
you never
actually
brought
pretty
that
cool. I
up?
don't know many. The fact that you were in theater is hilarious because I didn't have my friends on the football team and stuff. They weren't in theater.
Did you play football?
Yeah,
Okay.
I played sports, but I also was in like the theater world. And those are two different people in high school.
Yeah. Did you
Oh,
you went to a public
yeah.
school, though, didn't you?
Yeah.
Probably a pretty big one.
Yeah,
That's probably a little
7A.
different. I graduated with 55 people. So like
That-
we were
so, like,
all
Y'all played basketball, baseball,
dude, I played
You had
football.
to.
I was on the football, baseball, basketball, and soccer team. Football all of high school, and then the others each 2 years.
Yeah,
So like I did all of it
Wow.
through high school and theater.
that's pretty cool. That's a way different perspective
And-
on high school.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah. My perspective on high school is probably much different than a lot of people because I went to Friendship, super small school. That's where his girlfriend went to school. Rachel, she went to the same. We went to the same
Okay.
high school. She's
Yeah.
3 years older than me. 3, right?
Mhm.
She graduated. She was a senior when I was a freshman. But like it was a small private Christian school. Like we had a missions class. Like that's not normal. Like literally, we would go to Sneedville, Tennessee once a month and like
Yeah,
go build wells and stuff, or like go to Nicaragua in the summer and Africa, and like that's not normal for like a high school. I wouldn't think.
I mean,
Not
we
at
had,
all.
we had trips in high school, but the difference is like I graduated with people where like on graduation day, I was like, oh, nice to meet you.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, it
Same.
definitely was not like that.
There's
Like
still
my-
people that I'll see on Facebook, and I'm like, oh my god, we went to the same school.
yeah,
And even friends of mine that I know well, I will forget that I graduated with them.
yeah. Well, how about your school is small enough to where like you talk to everyone. There's no way you can avoid it because there's only
Yeah, and I'm
small
a
amount.
talker anyway. I was
Whereas
definitely I was a big fish in a very small pond.
Yeah. So at my school, I probably knew everybody, because like,
but you didn't know them on like a personal level.
but I wouldn't go up to them and be like, hey, you know what I mean? But like when you're in a building with people for 5 years,
Yeah.
you eventually run into them. But
you went to high school for 5 years. Did you fail a year?
well,
I was just
High
about to
school's
say
4
that.
years.
well, a lot of the people are from like kindergarten up. And
Oh, yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean?
How many people did you graduate with?
I'm gonna get this number wrong, like 500.
Okay.
maybe
So
600.
a pretty good amount. That's like
Yeah, I
that's
want to
so
say
funny.
mine was in the like thousands, like 1200,
Where did you
1300,
graduate
something like
from?
that.
You went to like
Hell.
8 different high schools, so you're a little different. But
So I went to 2 different high schools. Shout out to Frederick High School in Frederick, Maryland. I went freshman to sophomore year there, and then the beginning of junior year, and then where I graduated was AJ Diamond High School. So shout out to AJ Diamond, the Lynx, up in Anchorage.
okay, that's
So
what I
a
thought.
hockey team.
Yeah, actually, both of the schools that I went to actually had
Do they play the sports in like in Alaska? Do they play like Canadian teams and stuff? Do they like play in like a Canadian league?
Yeah,
like,
dude. How does that?
Because in Tennessee or Georgia, like you have the TSAA or TSSAA, Tennessee something something Secondary Sports Athletic
We had the
Association.
GH.
GHSAA. I don't know what it's like. The states like league. Do they have that in Alaska? But do they play with people in Canada because it's not that big of a state population wise?
So, no. So Alaska, there's one school district, and it's the Anchorage School District. So for school sports, you basically played within ASD, but then you would also play up in the villages. So like against Kotzebue or Nome,
Dude, what's that
or
high school that's
Barrow,
at the tippy top? Barrow, dude, Barrow.
Barrow High
Have you
School,
seen
where
that?
they have the blue
Dude,
turf
the blue turf
football
field.
field.
This is crazy. Barrow,
Yeah.
Alaska.
There's another.
So
Anyways,
well, the entire state will play against each other, like in the state championship tournament.
yeah.
All those schools will play one another in basketball, football, baseball, all sorts of that. And I'm trying to remember if we did have a hockey team. I know in Frederick High there was a hockey team for sure.
Oh
It's like, dude, they like lose
Yeah.
football to the ocean, like the Arctic Ocean. Isn't that
Dude,
crazy?
this is wild that like we're communicating right now, and you grew up on literally the opposite side of this country.
Yeah. And so I've never been to Barrow
it's crazy.
because
Dude, Alaska's huge.
Barrow's up here. Barrow's
Barrow's
at the
up
like
the
tippy
tippy
top.
top.
Yeah.
Is it?
I've never been there.
Is that not like the most northern?
Oh,
like,
you said you never been there?
No, because I grew up. So this is Alaska, right?
Yeah.
They're like up here somewhere. I grew up. Oh, I just knocked over my mic.
Anchorage
grew
is
up
like
right
down at the
here.
bottom.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So I grew up in South Alaska, where shit was like pretty normal. Like Anchorage is just like any other.
Yeah, I bet Anchorage is just
city.
like a northern town.
Really?
Like it's probably not that. I mean, I couldn't imagine it being that crazy.
No, well, like the craziest thing about Alaska versus other cities is that you're surrounded by mountains. And so no matter which direction you go in, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, you could be at the foothills of a huge mountain.
Yeah.
And so that was like a really cool thing. And getting out of town was less than an hour drive where you could be in the middle of the wilderness and
Dude,
you could
that's
camp
sick.
out.
That's
Mhm.
crazy.
That's the one thing. I mean, I love growing up in the South and in Georgia, but like the mountains, dude. Golly.
You got mountains in Georgia though.
Yeah, they're like
'Cause you
rolling
go-
hills.
Yeah, it's not.
you know?
It's not anything like
They're
that.
not.
but-
They're not rocky edges. They're two different things. Like Appalachia, beautiful,
Yeah,
but it's a whole different. It's a different type of
they're
beautiful.
not mountains. They're like babies.
Right.
They're hills.
They're hills.
Like
They're
the
just
like
rolling.
the hill
Not
country.
hills,
Because
they're mountains, but
my wife is from South Texas, so I lived down there for about 2.5, 3 years. And then where Cabe and I met in Hill Country, Texas, that's where they'll have like those rolling hills.
Dude,
But
there was something
nothing
about like I
compared.
want to go back to Bandera so bad. Like that place was so badass. It was literally just like a stoplight town, and then there was a massive resort called the Flying L Ranch, and it's where like
Flying J,
John-
Flying J Ranch.
Flying
I
J
think.
was it Flying J is a gas station chain.
dude, that's
you know that?
hilarious. I know a guy.
Oh yeah, Flying
Yeah.
L. Yeah.
He owns a ranch called the Rolling J Ranch.
Really?
It's in Leadville, Colorado. So you got flying. Rolling.
That's funny.
Nah.
But it was like an old ranch that like celebrities would fly into for like retreats, like John Wayne and like super famous movie stars and stuff, and then they turned it into like a retreat center for like the public base. Dude, it's super dope.
Wow.
Need to go back.
It's dope. And then also surrounded by you are exotic ranches where like you'll have oil tycoons and celebrities. They'll
Yeah.
have their ranches out there. There are ranches out there where you could go and hunt a zebra or
No
water
way.
buffalo.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Those are like the ranches that have like tigers and shit
Wow.
roaming around. Yeah.
Some Joe Exotic. Dude, it's almost been a year since Tiger King.
Did y'all
I
watch
thought about
it?
that the other day.
Did you watch it?
You watch
I've
it?
never
Lakota?
seen it. I've never seen it.
Did you watch it?
What kind of stuff are like TV wise are you into? Like, is that obviously that's not your thing? You haven't seen it, but I'm
I'm a
curious.
big sitcom guy. I
what's
love
your sitcom?
sitcoms. So my favorite sitcom is a tie between The Office and The Big Bang Theory.
Oh, okay, dude,
here
my
for The
mom
Office.
loves The Big Bang
The
Theory.
Big Bang Theory is hilarious.
It's hilarious. It's hilarious. I own all the seasons except for the last one. So, what about yours? Are you a drama or a sitcom guy?
It depends. I love a nice drama, but on a regular basis, like something I can fall asleep to every night, The Office. I started because my girlfriend, she's watched it
Probably 18 times.
a lot.
So many times.
Same.
That's how I get through The
18,
Office. Is I fall asleep to it. I'll watch 2 episodes as I'm falling asleep. I did before they took it off
Dude,
Netflix.
it's such an innocent show, like
It
for
is.
your mind.
It
you
is.
know?
It's super mindless. That's exactly how I
Yeah.
describe it. I'd say it's a mindless show. Like after you've watched it, because the plot is actually really good. Like the character development overall. But after you get to know it and like you've watched it 2 times through, then it's just like mindless television. That still there's stuff that makes me laugh every time.
Yeah,
that I didn't
catch
know
it
time before.
Yeah,
something
a new thing.
Something I started watching last summer with Rains actually is How I Met Your Mother.
Rains loves How I Met Your
Great show. I've seen it 3 times.
Really?
I love that show.
So
yeah.
Okay, well, how about this? What about shows that like there's fake laughing and clapping? Are you into that?
Sitcoms are notorious for that.
Yeah. Does that
it's
bother
to
you?
give that. Not really. I guess because I'm so accustomed to it.
Disney Channel shows bother me with that. Disney Channel shows are
because
so
of the
bad
snow.
with
We
that.
were watching iCarly,
Bro,
at
such
my
bad
girlfriend's parents'
television.
house. And I just recognized the laughing and stuff. I was like, it's cheesy.
So
but I guess
annoying.
Yeah. But if I take a break and I watch like a drama, right? Like if I watch like The Sopranos, and then I go back to the sitcom, I immediately recognize it. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to be shot in front of a live audience. Like a lot of sitcoms, they have live audiences there. And so a lot of them aren't fake. It's not fake laughter or anything like that. Like The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was famous for that.
Yeah.
Where that laughing and clapping was an actual response from the audience that were sitting behind the cameras.
I did not
while
know
it was
that.
being filmed.
I knew that they did that like early on in TV. I didn't know that they did it as late as like Fresh Prince. That's dope though. That's super cool.
Well, like SNL, that's in front of a live audience.
SNL also announced that though. SNL like shows shots of the crowd and stuff, and like,
which is really cool.
Yeah, I'd love to go, dude. If you played on SNL, bro,
oh man,
I would geek out.
Hey, one day you will.
One day, baby.
Go stream my song.
Yeah, actually, the new song that you dropped, I'm glad you mentioned it. It's really good. So
thank you.
Cabe knows this. I'm not like it's not that I don't like country. I love country music.
This isn't country. I knew you were gonna say that.
It's poppy. It's poppy.
Yeah,
but I don't keep up with it.
Yeah,
I don't keep up with a lot of pop. I don't keep up with a lot of country. I'm a hip hop head.
Hip hop.
So I keep up with. Yeah, I keep up with a lot of rap, a lot of hip hop.
Who are your favorite people?
And so right now, I mean, Eminem's always at the top. Conway the Machine and the entire trio from Griselda Records, they're up there. Method Man, Jay-Z, Nas. Those would probably be some of my favorites. So, but yeah, that's where my mind goes when it's music, and I'm like flipping through Apple Music or Spotify.
Yeah,
but I started listening to your stuff. I'm like, oh, he's really good.
Yeah,
like,
well, dude,
I like it. I listened to the EP too that you dropped a few years ago.
Yeah,
and that one's really good too.
That's a little different, probably.
A little baby Zach.
It is a little different.
A little different than the sound that you're going after. Talk about that actually, though. So like,
it's a different.
You
approach.
go on, like, just music career wise. You go on The Voice, and then I'm curious about this actually because I don't even know. So you sign to. I'm sure they give you a management deal, right?
No,
they didn't.
Mm-mm.
Did you? So you just signed one, or did you even have a manager after that?
Yeah, I worked with a manager for the duration of the EP and a little bit after that.
So how did you do the EP? Was the EP from the label or was that independent?
It wasn't a label in town.
But it was like you had like people backing it. It wasn't just like you wanted to put out an EP to follow up.
Yeah, but it was released kind of independently in a way.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was what, 2017 when you put out the EP?
Yeah, I think it was
2017.
Yeah, it was the year I graduated high school. I think.
And then you went to college,
and it was a blast, man. Like we played we played a bunch of shows. I played a lot of shows with Emily, and that EP is just a time capsule for that time period.
That time of your life,
But now it's just like,
talk about that transition, because you said it. What song is it? I'm 22 years old.
Heartbreak Gets Different.
And you talk about, what's the song where you talk about you don't even know what you're writing about? It's Say Moon. Where you say
or what I
spend all these time. No, I'll have to think of that. I can't remember. I don't know how I don't remember the damn lyric. I listen to these songs every day.
What's the idea though?
You're like talking about how you're writing these songs and you're, God bless the United States of America. Hold on.
Struggling there. So while he's
I don't know what I'm singing about. That's what you say and Say Moon. Right?
Yeah,
So
that's more like in a
was that a metaphor or was that serious? Because I feel like, from my perspective, as like a friend who has come into your life in the past 6 months, from the music, pretty much, not because we chance met and then you happen to be a musician, whatever.
Yeah,
we met because of Rains. It seems like you had an EP, you had an album cycle type of thing, and then you wanted to change sound because you didn't feel it was authentic. Would that be correct? To an extent?
Yeah. I think the music that I'm making now, that will also continue to evolve. I mean, I'm only 22 years old.
Yeah.
But it's influenced in a different way than my EP now.
Mm-hmm.
Or
the EP then.
The EP then. Because that was influenced by the cover songs I was singing on The Voice.
Yeah.
And
super country. I mean, you could be blunt with it. I mean, it was country. That was a country EP.
Yeah, and so that kind of influenced me to be oh, I'm gonna put out some country songs, and I wrote with I wasn't writing with a ton of people when I put that out. I wrote it with two really great songwriters, Bruce Birch and Wally Montgomery. And we wrote some songs and we put them out.
Yeah,
and it was hey, this is cool.
Yeah.
But then I moved to town and wrote with a lot of people. You speed date, and I'm honestly still in that process of expanding my writing world.
When did that? But, when you say moved, do you mean literally moved here 6 months ago, or when you moved to Murfreesboro?
No, we'll consider me moving to Murfreesboro as me.
Figured, yeah.
Nashville.
Yeah,
because I've been writing. I became a songwriter.
When did you meet Brandon and Ben?
Geez, I think I've known Ben for 2 years now. We met through a co-write with our buddy Mason Thornley. Got to know Ben, and he plays guitar for Brandon Ratcliffe.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
On the road.
He's his guitarist. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that. Brandon Ratcliffe, Brandon Ratcliffe and Ben Foster. Ben is his producer.
Ben and Brandon have kind of collaborated on what I'm doing right now.
Okay. Because you have a new album coming out. Right?
Not an album, but we're putting out singles.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have 3 out by the end of the month, so that's exciting.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
So that comes out Friday.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear them.
Dude, there's
a new one this Friday?
Yeah, right?
It's coming Friday?
26th.
Okay.
Yeah. It'll be out everywhere. This next single, it's the...
Yeah, I'm excited.
It's
that's
jam, bro.
Same Moon, what you were talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know who I'm singing about. That was more in a love approach.
Oh, okay.
Love song approach, but I mean, I guess you can put it.
There must be another lyric though that I don't know. Maybe there's not. I felt like you had said something like that, or maybe you just said it to me one time.
I think kind of the overall theme of these songs does talk about transition and the process of getting older
and growing up. Yeah,
because I graduate college in 4 months, and it was a big, I've experienced a lot of change from when I started college when I was 18. You learn a lot about yourself and
a ton,
and realize that you're learning a lot about yourself. You don't necessarily do that before college, because you're making mistakes kind of on your own, you know. And I put it
transformative years for sure.
Yeah, transformative years, and these are transformative love songs, I guess.
Yeah,
you know, they're just through the lens of loving another person, which you do that through those years as well, I think. So.
Oh yeah,
I've had spider web of.
That was good. That was a good answer. I liked it, dude. These songs are great, man. I mean, Thanks. Somebody Who Loves Somebody, first single. Love that song. It's a jam. The production
I do too.
On it. Yeah, such a jam, dude. Next
the
one,
production's different too. I mean, the difference between my EP I put out and the songwriting of that compared to the songwriting now, and just like the hopefully maturity that's starting to like come along in my music as I get older. But also sonically, the sound is a lot different,
dude. But I think I don't know how much your process has probably changed a ton since you wrote that EP.
Well, I didn't really have a ton of control over the EP because, like,
creatively,
yeah, like it was my first time in the studio, and like I
had no idea what you were doing.
Yeah, like I didn't know what a producer and mixing. It's terrible. I'm confessing this, but like, dude, I was so young.
No one did. I definitely
that's first time people want to hear that.
Yeah,
because
I had
with this podcast, we're still learning shit.
Like a lot of studio things. You know, you go into a studio, and whether you're cutting a demo for someone else and you're just singing on it, or if you're producing a single like what I've done with Ben, is whatever day you're tracking like musicians, guitar, drums, bass, all that stuff, you put a rough vocal on, right? So the singer goes into the recording booth and records like a rough track. And I remember when we were recording the EP, the track day I thought was like the vocal day. And I kept telling him, I was like, no, I want to keep doing this. And then he was like, dude, this is just so the musicians can like record.
Is so funny.
Yeah.
That is so funny.
I'll never forget that. I was like, oh man, like I do not know anything about the recording process.
That's hilarious.
Because in LA,
you're going like hard.
Dude, you walked in,
we need to get this perfect.
You sang your song.
Walked in, get out. Dang, that's crazy. Yeah, the recording process. Really cool, I mean, that, you said like you feel funny admitting that. No, like we recorded a single for John David freshman year of college, so 2 years ago now. Actually, I just got the Snapchat. I just got the Snapchat. Yeah. It was 2 years ago, like a few weeks ago, and I had no idea what was going on. Like no idea what even a studio like looked like from the inside, like from the creative perspective. Of course, I've seen a studio before, but it was so confusing.
Yeah,
like not the verbiage, but like
dude, everybody's been in that.
Yeah, for
place,
sure.
You know,
for sure. But
not me.
No, he's saying like every musician's been in that like.
Just like the I don't know stage of whatever.
Yeah,
whatever you're
doing.
Do.
For sure.
Well, because I remember when Cabe came on and became the co-host to this. Before, it was just me like fumbling around.
Yeah.
Talking about just a whole bunch of shit. Like if you go back and listen to the first few episodes, not even the first few, like the first like maybe 20 or 30 episodes.
Probably 30.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just me kind of ranting by myself.
The I don't know stage of life is the most exciting, you know.
Dude, me too.
That's a really
don't get me started, bro. Thought. Do not get me started. Go off on a tangent real quick, and then I will.
You can explore. I mean, the best part about that aspect is you're learning, and you're learning something new every single time you sit down and do that task, whatever it may be. For right, sure. Developing a skill or marketing or whatever. It's exciting.
The perspective that you take on with that, though, can either be really good or really bad. You know?
I think it's really good. I mean, that's the stage. I was telling you this last night. I was texting a guy that I set up a co-write for John David with. His name's Brett Altman. He's a musician, songwriter. And we were just talking the other night, and he had texted me something like business, like, hey, we need to change this or something. It was at like 9:30, and it was during our snow day week of not having school. So I was at the bar, and I was like,
dude, it snowed like crazy in Tennessee.
Dude, it was crazy. We'll talk about that.
I saw the stories.
Dude, it was a joke. Is that a lot of snow for you?
No.
Yeah.
No, I grew up in Alaska, so
bro.
A lot of snow is like, oh shit, it just dumped like 12 feet.
It's a lot.
Anyways,
yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
Which is possible up there.
I was a little drunk at the bar, and he was texting me this, and I just texted back. I was like, yo, dude, I'm sorry. I clicked on this and read it, and I don't want you to think I'm leaving you on red, but like I'm a little drunk, so like remind me in the morning. And then we just got to talking about it, and he said it first, just about like this phase of like our musicianship career, or like our life, whatever you want to say. Like, I have no idea what next week could happen, like music wise, like whatever. But it's so beautiful. Like, I talked to my mom about it, and she just doesn't understand that like this is a dream and I get to live it, and it's gonna happen. Like, it's inevitable because I'm gonna make it happen, you know. But like right now, we have no idea, and that's not. It doesn't scare me, but it's also a little oblivion. Like, you kind of have to be naive going into it, I feel like, and that's the stage that I'm in with my like career and my guys. Is like, we've just got to figure it out, and we're gonna will it into existence, and whatever it takes is whatever it takes. But we're going to look back on my whole point is we're going to look back on these days, and these are going to be the days that we're like, shit, that was good. That was so much fun, dude. You remember that one time we went to that songwriters round and Zach forgot the second verse to Same Moon. Like, you know what I mean? Just like super like nostalgic. Like, this is going to be a super nostalgic time that I look back on.
Yeah.
And I think it's beautiful. I don't know. That's just
I just
me.
try to have fun, dude.
Yeah, me too.
It's not a matter of like, you know, whether the biggest room I fill is a songwriter's room or you know, the dream of being on the road and stuff. Like, I'm just having fun. So wherever that takes me, I think I'll be good.
And if you're having fun, it's not work.
Exactly.
You know,
yeah.
And if you can turn it into
I'm making
career.
music with my friends, and I think it's paying off in a way, for sure.
It's paying off for sure, and it's going to keep paying off.
Yeah.
So
hope so.
So let's I want to talk about how you're a performer. How have you been adjusting to this whole pandemic thing, where a lot of live performances are really prohibited in most areas? I mean, I guess nowadays it's kind of lightening up, but for the past year, it really hasn't been.
What was the last show you played before last night?
Oh, dude.
Because you had that show.
It had to have been like a songwriter round or something.
You had that show that was scheduled in April for the Georgia Theater, didn't you? What that was?
Not the Georgia Theater.
Theater.
I think my last show was at the Georgia Theater.
When was that?
Opened for John Langston.
How long ago was that?
November of
2019.
When did I play? Because I did some fraternity shows.
The fraternity show was 2019. That was like that whole fall.
So yeah, November of. Yeah, that makes sense.
Dude, that's crazy.
It was November of 2019. I played at the Georgia Theater. I opened for John Langston.
That's hilarious. Lakota said that like he knows who John Langston is, although I know.
No, just saying I'm saying wow to the 2019 aspect.
Yeah, well, John Langston's a country singer. He's got a pretty good following going. He's got some good music.
He's for sure on the come up.
But I ran into him at a golf tournament, and he's a Georgia boy, and he's been really nice to me. I mean, he let me open at the Georgia Theater. It's a big, it's where the University of Georgia is.
Athens.
It's a big stadium.
How big is the theater? 800?
It's not that big. I mean, it's like a.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
It's probably 1,800, 800, 1,500.
But it's just a historic.
Yeah, it's super.
A lot of my favorite artists have played there, and yada yada. I don't know where I was getting with that.
You were talking about the last time you played a show.
Oh, how the pandemic's changed. Is that what you're?
Yeah, like how have you adjusted to it? I mean, for a lot of like songwriters, this is a really good time to kind of like cave yourself in and work on projects, right? Which is kind of like a blessing of being a musician, is that even if there's not live performances, you could still be putting out music online, especially nowadays.
Yeah.
But like, you know, have you been doing that? I know you went and did a lot of hiking. Kate was telling me.
Yeah, I love hiking.
Which we want to hear about that too. Mm-hmm. But how has it been a difference between like performing live constantly to shit, I can't perform live as much as I want to?
I mean, other than the fact that I can't play live, and like that's a huge bummer, because that's why I pursue this, is because I love.
That's also how people make money in the music industry.
I mean, yeah, but like money aside,
that is the most fun and most pure. Like, I feel like that's the most pure, like, way to listen and consume music.
Yeah,
and like, there's something really like beautiful about it that's been taken away from us for the past year.
I mean, it's fun when I get to sing music that I write, with my friends, but it's been a huge blessing, the pandemic has, honestly, because we were able to, Brandon was off the road and Ben was starting to write songs with me and kind of produce a little bit. And then we went to Gulf Shores and we wrote a bunch of songs and hung out. And like, if it was the real world before
that would
the
have not
pandemic
that would
happened,
not have happened.
no, because they would be on the road.
Brandon would have been on the road. Yeah.
And again, like, it stinks that we're not playing shows. Like, it stinks that had, that type of stuff got canceled. But the creative process has been full of time and energy because we could put a lot of focus towards it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of opened up some other avenues though for you.
Yeah. Well, as a songwriter, it's taken a ton of stress away because I'm not having to worry about, I have to, I got to play shows this month, which means I kind of have to figure out when I'm going to write, which, before the pandemic, things were dying down a little bit for me to where I could write more often. But it's just like getting in a room with the people I collaborate with and their schedules, it stops everything for everybody. And we were able to work on it.
Right. So with this whole being a musician aspect of life, what is your ultimate goal with that? I mean, do you want to be like a what is it, a household name? Do you just want to be like locally famous? Do you just want to be like have the independence to kind of do whatever the hell you want? Like what is the goal?
I mean, dude, right now I love writing music. I'm able to make music that's me and that's like honest with who I am and where I'm at right now. And if I can get that in front of as many people as I can to connect with me on that and appreciate the music for what it is, like separate from the name, just like, hey, this is something I think is cool. If a lot of people like that, man, and I, for the rest of my life can go play arenas, that would be amazing. But I just want to continue to make good music right now and kind of see where everything falls. That stuff's not really in my control right now. Only thing I can do is just write good songs.
Yeah, write good songs, and
how can I get people to buy into what I'm doing if that's not there?
Yeah, that's the tough thing with being an independent artist, I think, is just having to break that mold. And luckily, you as an independent artist still have a lot of following from The Voice, which is great.
Yeah.
Well, social media speaking, but I'm saying you're not going into it like blindly as someone that has zero following music wise. Like you have some people that are backing that from a consumer standpoint, but it's also still very. I mean, I don't know if it's scary to you, but it's kind of. I mean, I could see that being kind of scary to put out music, especially changing what you were doing, because that whole crowd or whatever that followed you before, like that was.
Yeah.
They were all here for country,
Well, but again, like, dude, I'm just writing music that I think is
that
cool.
You think is cool, yeah.
If people don't like it, that's cool. If people are like, yo, I dig this song, I'm going to share it with my friend, that would be sweet. But I don't,
the authenticity.
I don't get, I try to not get in my head and like compare and judge myself and try and get in the minds of other people to think if they'd like it or not. It's just, it is what it is. But
I think that's important for your sanity too, because there's so many people that
you'll lose sleep. I mean, it's like anything. Like everyone has the opportunity to get in their own head when they're looking at their phone comparing, and it's the same thing with music. But that's not why. That's not why I got into music in the first place. I'd started making music because I love music. I could sit in this living room by myself and I love doing that. And as long as I continue to go down that lane and not the lane of like what everybody thinks of me, I think that they can take me pretty far.
I'm here for it.
At least I'll be happy.
That was a great answer.
Thanks.
But to run through a wall.
Well, there are a lot. I mean, dude, and it's worked for a lot of people that can be like a cookie cutter artist and have a hit song or whatever, and they're in a position where it's like, dang, like I have this song I'm known for now, but that's not really who I am. I was doing that to try and
get famous.
I mean, if that's what they wanted to do, then great.
There's a lot of artists like that. There's also a lot of artists that are super authentic and are themselves, but like
and don't get the recognition.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
tallest man on earth, for example,
when I
one of my favorite singer songwriters, and not many people know who he is. I don't even know if you guys know who he
No,
is.
I've never heard of him.
Surprisingly,
What's his name?
tallest man on earth.
Tallest
I'll
man
look him
on Earth.
up. I didn't
Look
know
him
that was
up.
an artist. What?
One of my favorite songs is "King of Spain." I mean, it's beautiful singer-songwriter music, and a lot of people don't know who he is. And I was introduced to him by a friend of mine who plays guitar up in Alaska. Shout out to Andrew. And that's one of those guys where he's been putting out music for like a decade and a half, and he has like a cult following, right? He's able to make music or make money off of his music, but he's not a household name. He's not like a Taylor Swift or like a Tim McGraw or Eminem.
Hey, but if he's happy doing what he's doing and he's able to have a roof over his head, dude, cheers to him,
Good for him.
Oh yeah. So
career wise for me, I have my goals, but I also have goals like when it comes to family and like outside of music as well. I think that's important. So just trying to make it all come together and make sense for me.
For sure.
Are you trying to have some kids right now?
Oh, right now? Absolutely not.
No.
I want to. No. Eventually, though.
One day.
I come from a big family, so I gotta. Okay. I'm the only boy too, so I gotta carry on the
name, the Seabaugh legacy.
Not anytime soon. Absolutely not.
I got you. Oh, I want to hear about the hike. I mean, you. Which trail did you go on? The Appalachian Mountain Trail?
Every winter we do a near-death hike of the AT. Dude, it's kind of miserable, but we do it. We did 55
How long
miles.
does it take you?
We did 55 miles in 4 days.
Damn. See, that's a dream for mine.
Yeah. Do you backpack
just
a lot?
Going like, I used to up in Alaska because there was just so much opportunity to. Yeah. But I never did like overnight ones. Like the longest backpacking hike I did, I think was 12 hours. And so I went out, I went out about 7.5, 8 hours on this trail. And I can't even remember the trail's name anymore. And then came back and we were running back, me and my buddy, because it was getting dark. And in Alaska, once it gets dark, you're gonna run into moose, which will stomp you to death. Or wolves,
they aggressive,
which will just tear you apart.
Moose are aggressive.
Moose are very territorial. Yeah,
really. Like they'll come at you.
It depends, right? Like you'll hear stories every year of a tourist getting stomped to death or put in the hospital by a moose, and it's because they got near them.
That's awful.
And it's usually the females, because the females they'll have their calf with them for about a year until that calf like runs on, becomes its own independent. But if you get near a mama moose, near its yearlings or anything, you're gonna get stomped to death.
Wow.
And they're huge. If you haven't seen a moose,
dude, I mean, I haven't seen a moose in real life. So
there's more people in Alaska. There's more people yearly in Alaska that are injured by a moose than a bear. I would not have guessed that.
Wow,
that's wild.
It's because moose they're in the cities. I mean, you'll see a giant bull moose with a huge rack just walk across the Seward Highway like it's nothing. And you need to stop for that moose, because if you don't, even if you're in a truck, that moose is going to fuck your vehicle up.
Wow.
I mean, it's going to be demolished. Yeah.
That doesn't sound very fun.
No. So
there's not any animals
moose
on
will
the
tear you
AT.
up.
Come backpack on the AT.
I will.
I'll come.
We'll need to make a.
Dude, I would love to go to Alaska.
I want to go to Alaska one day.
I've been getting into skiing though, so if I come to Alaska, I got to go skiing.
Well, I want to do. My little brother still lives up there, and he's developing these cabins on this little island, and I want to do a whole like podcast retreat there with Cabe and like a bunch of guys, and we stay out there for like a week and just do live shows,
that would be
live
lit.
music, and stuff like that.
Crazy dope.
Yeah, it's something that is in the plan for this podcast, and it'd be a great time. We'll be able to hike around, be able to shoot guns, do some fishing.
Country boy shit, man.
The whole shebang. You have to fly into the island. You can't drive.
What?
Uh-huh.
Like on a seaplane? What are they called?
Like a little seaplane.
Seaplane?
Yeah.
That'd be
And
dope.
they have little Cessnas, like a little airstrip where you can land on the island itself.
How big is
So
the
this
island?
retreat, it's not very big, but Dylan was telling me, my little brother, that like tech tycoons like Bill Gates and Sergey and those early guys in Google used to stay on these cabins. And it was like a big thing. They would go yearly and have these retreats. And then the cabins back in like 1990 or 2000 were closed down. So what he's doing with his boss and his investors, they're revamping the island and revamping. The only thing on the island are these cabins.
Wow.
So they're revamping them
badass,
to get them
dude.
up and running again, to either sell them or put them back on the market to
Like
for
island is then they have to fly in their own food type thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's super
Yeah,
dope.
it's beautiful. I'll have to figure out the name. I got to piss real quick. I'll be right back. You guys.
We can
Banter.
filibuster. Or you could just press,
Yeah.
can you press pause?
I can if you want me to. All right, guys, we'll be
Press pause.
right back. And we are back.
What are you talking
Dude, I
about?
hate my bladder
NASCAR?
so much.
What? Do you watch NASCAR?
Yeah.
Do you really?
Oh shit. How-
I would not have
okay.
expected.
I've always wondered that. So my uncle is like a big NASCAR guy, and every time he had it on, I never understood it. Like it's just a left turn. Like I don't. You're just constantly left turning.
Yeah. I mean
What's
that's how it's
what's the appeal?
perceived. But dude, I mean it's super scientific and like it's amazing. I did an influencer campaign with NASCAR.
Oh, I remember this.
Yeah, for the 2019 season. Shout out to that dude. If somebody's listening and they don't know what NASCAR is or they have that view on it, it's go to a race, dude. Have you been to a race?
No, never. I mean, growing up in Alaska, there were no tracks like that.
I will
Yeah.
say it is unbelievably energetic. Like it is an electric atmosphere.
Aside from the stereotype of like what NASCAR is and that it's mainly like older people that are fans of the sport, dude, the Pitbull and Michael Jordan both just bought NASCAR teams,
That's dope.
and they're
Did
racing
not know
cars.
that.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's super dope. How much are these teams worth?
Oh, dude,
Like
car.
millions-
Billions.
millions-
just the car
Billions.
itself.
No, but I'm talking about like the team because it's like a team. It would be like owning a franchise. It would be like owning an NFL team, but it's NASCAR.
Yeah.
So I bet they're
Yeah.
worth
Because each
hundreds of millions of dollars.
each team has multiple cars or numbers. They own
Yeah,
numbers.
yeah.
Is what they do. And then there's 3 divisions. But when I was doing the influencer thing, they
What
got
does that
us,
even mean?
So it was a team of YouTube, Instagram, just like social media influencers. A lot of them were like into cars, like they had car YouTube channels. But we all went to. I went to a lot of races with them. But they just got us behind the scenes, talking with drivers, learning about the sport. And dude, there's so much that goes into it. And like the marketing of NASCAR is unreal. Like if you really pay attention to it, it's really cool.
Who's your favorite driver?
Dude, shout out to Zane Smith, Riley Herbst. I'm trying to think who else. Chase Purdy.
Did you get to meet these guys too and chat with them?
Yeah, so it was called NASCAR Next, and it was a group of guys. Anthony Alfredo, he's racing. He raced at Daytona last week. But these are all like, gosh, they got to be 20 to 22 years old, same age as me. But it was like the next big NASCAR people that were like moving up in the ranks, and you know.
That's
You
cool.
go
I got
from,
one thing-
I think there's different ways that you get into it. I don't know that much, but there's 3
like as a
series.
driver.
Well, there's 3 series. There's a truck series,
Yeah,
Xfinity series, and then the big one is
FedEx. What's it called?
the Cup series.
The Cup
Monster
Series.
Energy,
Yeah.
I think, is the sponsor.
They probably change that every few years. I think. Like who the big sponsor is? Yeah,
it used to be Next.
Yeah, I can only imagine though, because those cars are not cheap
bro.
to
they're like
get into.
they're like hundreds of thousands of dollars,
Yeah.
like per car, right?
No,
I
millions.
don't know the number
dude.
exactly, but
Like Without a doubt, dude.
My senior year of high school, we won the football state championship, and so we got to go to a Nashville Predators game for free. They like gave us a whole section, the whole team, and during one of the intermissions, whoa, dude,
sorry,
spill your kombucha, man.
You like kombucha?
During one of the intermissions, they let all the seniors go onto the ice and like race, like these little cars that they had on the ice. And I raced a dude that was a NASCAR driver, and I walked up to him after. Yeah, I lost to him by a ton, but I walked up to him after, and I was like, "Yo, dude, like, could you hook us up with some tickets to Bristol or something?" Because that's what he was there to promote, was the Bristol race. And he gave us free tickets, so me and 3 of my buddies got to go to Bristol for free, which was super badass.
Wow.
Bristol's track is like, it's like, I think it's the shortest track, so there's like tons of wrecks, like. I don't know. It was crazy. It was insane. Bristol. It like, you've been to like Sanford, right? Sanford Stadium.
Wait, where is
like
Bristol?
Bristol's in Bristol, Tennessee. It's like up in the tippy top corner of Tennessee.
No way,
dude. Bristol. It's like, have you seen? You've seen what?
For real?
I swear, yeah. It's in Tennessee.
I just looked up how much the cars cost, and they're upwards of $200,000.
That's so much money, dude.
But could you imagine,
like the structure of this place is unbelievable. Like, it's freaking massive, and it's only like a half-mile track or something. It's not that much.
Dude,
like, it's not that long. Dude, look at how big it is.
How
bro.
did I not know that was in Tennessee?
How did you not know that?
Dude,
honestly,
let's go to Bristol.
I'll go to Bristol. It was so much fun, dude. They played the Tennessee Volunteers played a football game there against West Virginia, and when you look at it, it was on the infield or whatever. It's like the football field is like a fraction. Dude, a fraction of the infield.
It's grand slam seating at NASCAR races.
It's crazy.
Dude, it is so fun. You got to go.
It is super fun. It's really loud. Everyone's really drunk. They also let you bring in your own beer. I watched a dude drop a cooler full of beer down the stadium during the national anthem.
There's some good people watching.
Jesus.
Yeah.
There's some good
people.
I've been near a track, and I can't remember which one. I think it was in up in the Dallas area. Okay. And you could see the giant track. I think it was actually Dallas.
Dude, it is.
I don't know what track that is. But you could hear, I was driving by, this is when I was knocking doors up there, and I could hear a car going around the track, and just one car was loud as shit. Yeah.
So
loud as shit.
Yeah. Oh, they're all passing.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
No, I'd be down. I've just never the like golf, right?
Uh-huh.
Like, golf is much more exciting, I think, on TV than it is actually going live. I don't know why.
I would probably agree with that because it's really hard to keep up with live.
Dude, every live golf match I've gone to, whether it's like PGA Tour, well, I guess they've all been PGA Tour, I leave that golf tournament every time being like, dude, I want to be Tiger Woods. Like, I want to start golfing.
I would want to go to a golf tournament at like the Phoenix Open or whatever on the 16th hole, though, when they've got all the grandstands around the hole. Yeah. That looks so lit, dude. That looks like so much fun.
Golf is a respectable sport. It's just like it can. I mean, dude, like the sponsors Rolex, like
it's crazy.
It's classy.
It's very like high class environment, and it's you walk around just like, man, this is cool. Everything's clean.
But with NASCAR seems a lot more exciting live versus on TV.
On the TV.
If you don't have a certain driver that you've been like watching throughout the season, it's just cars going around a track, but
right,
they are.
You kind of have to like pay attention to it.
Yeah. But dude, if you go to a real track and then there's a wreck right in front of you and like they go up on the fence,
it's crazy.
It's cool, but
it's crazy to watch.
I was always on the infield when I was doing the NASCAR influencer thing. And
so what would you do? Just like post pictures and stuff?
The pit stops, we would get all the way down there. We would sit in pit boxes while they were doing pit
That's
stop
wild.
runs. And
just for shits and giggles, or were they like
they put me in a race car and sent me around the track 2 times with a driver.
During a race?
No, this is before.
Oh, I was like, dude, what?
And then I got to interact with the drivers. And
how fast were you going when you drove around the track?
I don't remember. I actually passed out.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, from the G-force, I imagine.
Yeah, it made me like kind of,
That's crazy.
You're easily going 200 miles per hour.
Yeah, I think
Well,
that's what they said
The
around.
real cars you go 200, but I think this one I was going like 150, 160.
You said that like that's
But just
not
hitting that-
super duper fast.
hitting that turn.
And like the
Yeah.
walls are, angled. You're not going flat. It's
So you can
exciting
keep
stuff.
that momentum going. I think the fastest I've ever been, like just on the road, was like 125, and that was like it was fast as fuck.
Yeah.
And it was in Texas. It was so much fun.
I went like 140, I think, on the Autobahn.
I don't think I've
Oh,
gone
okay.
that fast.
So you
in a
like
car.
legally did it. I
did
did
it legally.
not. I was
Did it
like
legally in a
driving
BMW
up to-
M5. Shout out to that rental car guy at the airport that ripped me off in Munich.
Hey, if you guys don't know, like we had that was on an episode. What was that? Like 2 episodes ago
I don't remember.
or so, or 3 episodes ago. I
don't
can't
even
remember either.
talking
You guys,
about it.
you talked about it. It was
don't
actually
remember
really
that.
cool.
It was a great time.
Yeah. So Zach, have you traveled around to like other countries, either performing or non-performing? Like, where have you gone?
Performing, I've been to a lot of different states, but it's mainly just like travel in general where, let's see.
What? That didn't make any sense.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to like process what I'm going to say. I haven't really been out of the country. I haven't been to like Europe.
Country.
Marietta, Georgia.
Never been out of the country.
No, I've never been out of the Central Time Zone.
I used to do a bunch of mission trips. I was in a youth choir, and we would go do like a tour and go sing in a bunch of churches. And I was able to go to like Oregon, and I went to Seattle on that trip, and New Orleans, and like we went to a bunch of
New Orleans.
So, but as far as just like getting out and doing whatever I wanted to do, let's see, Utah, Colorado.
Never out of the country though.
Never.
You never went to like Mexico with
a
your
cruise.
family? Yeah, I
Yeah,
was gonna
I've
say
been on
you probably went on a
cruises.
cruise. Everybody in the South's
I
been
love
on that
cruises.
cruise, dude. Everybody in the South's been on a cruise to either the Bahamas or Cozumel,
Oh,
Mexico.
dude, I love cruises. I went on one.
I
to
love
ring in. We
cruises.
rung in the 2020 year
And then it all went to shit.
when we got off.
See, I went on my first cruise February 2019, and I loved it.
What
And
cruise line did you go on? Well, I guess it's different
So-
up there.
no, I did it when I was
Was it
living
the
in
South?
Texas. We
just
came out
moved
of
up there in, like,
Galveston.
October, I think. When did you
Okay.
move?
Yeah,
September?
Oh
yeah,
I forgot you lived
October.
there.
I just
Yeah.
moved up here.
Cool.
But we took the Carnival line, and it was to the Grand Cayman Islands. It was to Montego Bay, Jamaica, and Cozumel, Mexico. And it was like a 7-day cruise.
Wow.
And I already I told my wife actually like 2 days ago. They have a bunch of like crazy deals.
Yeah,
I'm like,
they
we
have
should just
crazy
book
deals,
one.
dude. The cruise industry's not around right now.
Can you go on a cruise
Yeah.
right now?
Can
You
go on a
can't
cruise?
go on a cruise right now, but you can book it, and I think as long as you've booked it, they like if that for whatever reason, right, for the pandemic, if that's canceled,
You just get your
then you
money
have
back.
a voucher. You get your money back, or you can get a voucher for the next one that's the same.
Yeah.
But I'm telling her like we should book one for like 2022, where we know the pandemic and shit's going to be under control.
Yeah, but if you can get a
We can get, like, a
super good
nice-
deal on it, that would be great.
You just never
Why not?
know. You never know when
Why not?
like you don't know what you're doing in 2022.
Well, I can tell you this: you're going to be
Yeah,
going on a cruise.
I'm going on a cruise, Zach. I'm going on a cruise.
That's
That's what it is.
That's true.
That's right, dude. I'm planning ahead, baby.
Yeah,
Put it
I'm
on the
going on a
calendar,
cruise.
honey.
That's what it is.
Dude.
Put it
really
on the
want to,
Google
'cause-
calendar.
So
Brought to you by
the
Carnival
room that we
Cruise.
had, the window we had was like the room. It was a window one, but it was on the lower rung. I'm trying to get like a balcony or like a suite or something.
You know they have
which
suites
are
with like
discounted.
like two store
Double deck.
suites,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
with staircases and stuff. Nuts.
Yeah. See, I'm not trying to do that right now because I'm not trying to fork up that much money.
Well, dude,
But I would
for the
love to
price
have,
of
like,
a
a-
regular cruise. You probably can.
Probably could right
I'm about
now.
to look up rates.
How much
but-
are they? How much did you get it for?
So actually, I'm trying to remember. I think for both of us and the drink package, I
Oh, yeah,
think
you got to
we
get
paid
the
like
drink package.
you have to. I think it was $1,400 for what we did,
Wow.
and yeah, and that was for both of us.
So that's what
And,
$700 a piece. How much
Yeah.
is the drink package? Is that?
It was like 250.
Oh, I
And
didn't
so
know
that
much.
250, I think it was that much.
Dude,
I
you
could
can go on
have
2-day cruises
15
now
drinks.
for
That's not enough.
$100.
That's not enough time.
It's not enough time, but $100.
No. See, that's not even worth it. Like if I want to do another cruise, like the next cruise I go on, I want it to be 9 days or more.
Yeah.
Like honestly, it's like some people they don't get it. And I didn't understand cruises until I went on one. I'm like, you're literally on the water and just kind of just chilling, just doing whatever the hell you want
Yeah.
for that long.
It's
Like
amazing.
I think it would be awesome to have an IKANTEVEN cruise, but we're nowhere near as big. Like Joe Rogan could have one of those where it's like a Joe Rogan cruise and like, fans just go on that cruise
Dude,
and
that's
he has live guests.
Yeah, the best
But
part's comedy on cruises. When I went
we didn't even get to see the comedy guy because
What?
it was always booked.
every
It was
night,
always booked.
we would sit and watch them. Like they would start at
Dude,
6.
you can go on a 13-day cruise from Lisbon to Tampa Bay. And you go from Lisbon to Ponta Delgada, don't know what that is, Praia da
Lisbon.
Victoria, Bermuda, the Grand Turks, and end up in Tampa for $699 per person.
Yeah,
Boys,
but you're
we're going
like
on a cruise.
13 days, bro.
Yeah, but what seats are those though, or what rooms? Because I bet those are like in the belly of the boat.
I wouldn't care.
Still.
I've always stayed in the belly of the boat.
No, next time I want like a balcony because we got to see the water, but I want to be able to like get out there and like chill,
To be there
drink a cup
that
of
long.
coffee.
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
5-day cruises that's enough for me. Do 5.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just
No,
enough
like-
time. Just enough time.
But
You
see,
got 2 days at
that
sea.
was my
You can get an ocean
Yeah,
view
that-
for $850.
yeah. That's how much we paid. We paid about $650, $700
That's
or
not
so.
bad, dude. A 13-day cruise, that sounds like a dream, bro. That's all. When we
Yeah.
went when
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like 5 years old, my mom still talks about it to this day. How anytime we would leave the room to go do anything, my granddad would walk and go get a soft serve ice cream cone.
Yeah,
Because
dude,
there's
the ice
always
cream's so
soft
good.
serve, like always soft
Oh,
serve
yeah.
going on, and he would wake up at like 3 a.m. just and go get himself a cone of ice cream.
Dude, the strawberry and chocolate swirl. Dude, we're going to get ice
Oh,
cream
yeah.
after this
I was
podcast.
thinking the same thing. Where's Jenny? Actually, I don't want to go to Jenny's. I spent $5 on our ice cream cone there the other day, and it was not
No,
good.
we're going to Kroger.
Okay,
Kroger.
Getting a tub.
Just there you go.
tub of Blue Barrel, baby.
They have 6-month cruises.
Yeah, they have one it's around the world, and I think it's like a 2-year cruise, and it's like 10,000 a pop or some shit like that, or
Was it
50,000. It's like a ridiculous
I have a
amount.
friend that did
The
this.
schools.
Yeah, my friend did study abroad on a ship for like 4 months, right
That's
before
cool.
COVID hit.
Yeah,
I
I had
think-
somebody. I knew
think she
somebody
did
that
it
did
her
that.
spring semester. I think she did it this past spring semester and it got cut short because of COVID, which sucks.
I
but
was
she
trying. I was. Yeah,
What?
I was trying to do that too.
Dude,
I
would
a
love
few
to
years
do
ago. I was trying to do it.
What if you sign up for that though, and you're stuck on a boat with a bunch of people that you're not really
Suck.
vibing with?
Yeah,
Oh, I wouldn't care.
I'd find
I'm
somebody to vibe with.
I'm so
Or is
used.
it
Yeah.
is it gonna be like Sweet Life on deck,
I was
Oh,
thinking
that
the
would be
same
dope.
thing, bro.
where it's just
So
like
that's-
you're home?
That's the dream.
Mr.
Yeah,
Mosby,
that's the dream.
London.
I love that show. Love that show. I tried to do it. Well, I think my freshman year or sophomore year, and I didn't get accepted. I was like, "What the fuck?"
What does something
Eh.
like that run?
A
Price?
lot of money.
Really?
Yeah,
A lot of money.
study
Lot of
abroad's
money.
expensive. I looked into study abroad in Australia for the second semester of my sophomore year, and it was going to be about 35.
that up?
30, swear to God, 35
Wow.
grand. 35 grand.
Wow.
I could put a down payment on a big
Dude,
ass house. For
there's
35
people
grand.
paying 35 grand
yeah.
to go to regulars. Well,
Dude,
not regular private school.
Dude, oh my God. I was telling somebody that the other day. There's all these kids up here, not to talk shit about anybody, because like I respect you for whatever you're doing, but come on now. There's kids from like,
But I'm going
Colorado.
to anyways.
yes, there are kids from Colorado that moved their little asses out here to go to Belmont University and study music business.
Well, that's college. That's different. I'm
Bro.
talking about high school, private
Bro,
school.
they are spending like $50K a year, and they could drive their butt 40 minutes southeast and get a better education, in my opinion, and spend like $4 grand.
Well, I mean, anywhere you go to out of state, it's going to cost you.
No, they get academic common market. That's the thing with the music. That's why it's a big
you're
deal
talking.
to me.
You're talking about for music
like for music business
specifically.
Yeah, specifically.
Gotcha.
Sorry.
I mean,
That's my
I can
tangent.
only speak on.
Did you get common? Do you get common market?
Yeah, I get
Yeah.
common market, but I'm just saying I can only speak on what I know through my experience at MTSU. I don't know what the Belmont music business is like. You know, there are a lot of successful people that came out of there.
A ton of them, but they spent a lot of money.
A lot of them.
And that's the thing. I mean, look at like the big schools like UPenn, Harvard, Cambridge, those kind of schools. The reason why people go to those schools is not for the education necessarily, because the education there is pretty top notch.
Yeah.
It's the networking.
Yep.
Like if you're in business school, right, you don't need a business degree to be a successful business owner,
Fact.
right? But to network with people that are going to be in finance, that people are going to be hedge fund managers and shit like that. That's why people go to those Ivy League schools.
Yeah.
Right. It's kind of like
Belmont's not
hobnob
an
with
Ivy
like,
League school though. For the
I mean,
record.
I think that
no, but like private schools and
yeah,
stuff.
for sure.
I mean, the music business program at MTSU, like the students are what make the program what it is. Like there are a lot of people that graduated from MTSU with the music business degree that have went on to make a name for themselves in the industry. And, you know, it could be, say, better than all of these other music business schools right now. But when it comes our turn to like go out into the world and try and make something happen, if we don't hold that up,
Dude,
you know what I mean?
MTSU's gonna have a
So-
statue of me, baby.
Oh gosh. Well, I hope so, Cave. If that's what you want in life.
That's my
But-
big goal, is to have my college have a statue of my little
That's
ass.
funny.
Yeah, I'm kidding. I don't want a statue.
Little ass. I mean, if they put a life size statue there, you'd still be towering over
Yeah,
people.
dude, you were the size of a statue.
Thanks,
You really
Zach.
are. Zach, how tall are you? Because you look pretty tall too.
I'm 5'11" with shoes on. We'll say that. I don't know. I think
how cute.
5'11". Yeah.
How cute. Hmm.
Dude, that's
Yeah,
average.
like Gabe,
That's
Gabe,
above
you're like
average size.
6'5".
What's it like?
Gabe's
being
like
tall?
6'5" or some shit.
It's good. It sucked in high
I'm
school.
I'm not.
When I was
I'm not
growing
feeling
up, it
bad for you
sucked.
for being that tall, but like, how do you look at being tall?
It's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, like
only
how's
thing that
the
sucked
weather?
was in high
Is there
school,
like
dude,
an
like-
insecurity of being tall? No.
I mean, it
Like-
sucked. The only thing that I would complain about was in high school, my knees. Dude, I would wake up in the middle of the night, like as I was growing, like freshman and sophomore year, I would wake up in the middle of the night in excruciating pain.
Really?
Excruciating knee pain. Like couldn't move my legs almost because of how bad it hurt to like try and bend my
Got the
knees.
big green
'cause
giant over here.
of- Jolly green giant, dude.
Jolly green giant. That's funny.
And then we got the Planet Fitness poster boy over here because
Yeah.
you're more shredded than I.
Yeah, I wish. I wish.
Yeah, I wish I had the body of a 21-year-old again.
I do
anymore.
not any.
I
I do
was
no
shredded.
longer. Lakota, did I tell you about the DMV, dude? When I went
No,
into the
tell me about
DMV, so I went into.
Oh yeah, you did. You
and the
did.
lady was like, "Are you still 170 pounds?" I was like, "No, ma'am. You can go ahead and add 50 to that real quick." I apologize. I'm no longer 170 pounds.
I'll have to show the listeners old photos, so like people that grew up with me, they know like I was shredded back when I was y'all's age.
Really?
Back in my day.
Yeah, shredded, and now not so much.
Because of like good
I'm
genes, or did you like grind?
Just a little bit of both, but mainly great genetics. Like I had the genetics to be a bodybuilder.
Wow.
I still do. Like
I was gonna say, I don't think
anytime I
those go
like,
away, but
yeah, it doesn't go away. But like anytime that, like last week, I ate clean all week, and you can see like and worked out a little bit. You can see my shoulders starting to pop out again, like I'm on steroids or some shit.
Really?
Like I just have great
That's
genetics
nice.
for it.
I've
Dude, I
never
have
had.
to-
Yeah.
I've gotta
I've
burn,
never
like-
had the genes for that ever.
I've got to work really hard at it to stay in good shape. I guess my metabolism
Second.
is
My
Oh, my
I have a great
metabolism's
metabolism.
shit
but I'm
now,
just,
but-
like, I just can't build muscle. I've never been able to like put on weight. That's
You're
like,
too tall. That's why. You're just too damn tall.
Yeah, you got to eat a lot of food, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good food.
Gotta eat a lot of food, and you gotta swim. That's what you gotta do.
I do not want to turn into Sex Wax, therefore I will not start swimming. Shout out Sex Wax.
I like swimming.
I do too. I haven't done it in a long time.
Yeah, I changed my
Down in
mind. I
Texas,
love
you really
swimming. Actually, I want to swim. I'm gonna start. You want to go swim?
Well, you can now. It's COVID.
Yeah, you can.
You can go swim
You
in
can
a
go
lake.
swim. You can go swim in a public pool.
Dog, no, you can't.
Sex Wax goes every morning
you
at
just
like
got-
5:30. I swear to God.
The YMCA?
Yes, not the Y. He goes to the Murfreesboro one.
Dude, I thought about getting a membership at the Y, but they don't have a pool. So
The
there's no
Y
point.
probably would not let. Not. I don't know about
Downtown.
anywhere downtown.
There's one in East Nashville.
Dude,
too.
I was surprised about last night. Like walking in, being downtown, and like nobody had masks on. Was that just me?
No, I wasn't surprised.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Everywhere else
Yeah,
I've been in
so
Nashville
you
is like super.
You performed last night, didn't you?
Yeah, there was a writers round.
Explain what that is, because people don't know what that is.
Oh yeah. So in Nashville, it's kind
It's
of
a pretty Nashville exclusive thing, isn't it?
yeah, it's a Nashville thing. I think
They-
I don't know like
they,
the
They
org.
probably do them in LA, but
4 songwriters, they sit on stools on stage and they each take turns saying like, hey, here's a song I wrote, this is how I wrote it, or this is who I wrote it for. And sometimes you know the song because it's a big song,
big hit.
Sometimes it's people like me where it's like, hey, I'm trying to make something happen. But
Yeah.
that's
So
what we
they
did.
Okay. So I was a big writer. I wrote a lot of poetry, and
Was it
we
rap?
had writer circles. No, but I did rap back when I was like 14.
Oh,
I'd
dude.
produce
I
and
know
put
you.
out.
I know
I
you've got
produced
some
and put out
audio.
a few
of
songs.
that.
I don't anymore, and thank goodness, because I'm sure it was terrible.
That's hilarious.
But my poetry was pretty good, and I published 2 books. But I had writer circles, so we'd meet at UAA or meet at a bar or meet at a coffee shop, and we would share poetry or short stories and kind of critique each other and be like, oh, like I like where you're going with that, or what do you mean by this line, or what does this stanza kind of like have to do with that stanza, and it was just kind of a way of like improving your writing. So I'm assuming like what you're doing is kind of similar to that, or is it just kind of just to get exposure?
It's more performance based.
Okay.
You just get up and like play. I mean, last night was a pretty casual one, but like there's venues that like are specifically for writers rounds, like the Bluebird Cafe, the Listening Room. Like there's all these places around town that all have really good food, and you literally just sit there and listen to people play their songs.
Yeah, I mean it's an opportunity for you to showcase the songs you're working on.
Yeah, a lot of people like Reigns, like A&R people will go to a lot of those.
Yeah, I mean there's
Like it's a big discovery process pre-COVID for like signing people too.
Yeah, I mean separate from the business people that come to rounds, I think it's just like a Tennessee, Nashville thing to where like if you're gonna go out, you're gonna go listen to live music, and
It's
like,
a more intimate way to do it because a lot of
Well,
these
we were-
people are songwriters that have written hit songs. Like take Jessie Alexander for example. She wrote The Climb, and I went to a round of hers one time, and she's got this whole other perspective of that song that Miley Cyrus didn't have. And she sings her version of the song from her perspective because there were a few lyric changes and whatever. You hear the story behind it. It's like kind of a lot of them are like based around the nostalgia or the story of that said song.
a guy last night, he was sitting next to me and he was like, I wrote this song for Rascal Flatts. It went #1. It was Here Comes Goodbye, which is a song I like grew up listening to. And I was like,
That's crazy.
yo, that's whack. And you would have never guessed it, seeing him on the street. And but what I was, it's a way for people like me to showcase what I'm doing. And there are a lot of tourists that come to those things, but there's also a lot of people, whether you're in the industry or not, people like going to writers rounds. And my buddy Zeb Luster has a big round in town called Why Not Wednesday, and that's a round that I like to go to because there are certain artists that I listen to that play at that round, and it's like, I don't want to say it's like a sport, but like you have certain rounds that you like going to, and you
people you want to see.
Yeah, people you want to see.
Well, it's kind of
And it's
kinda
a great way to network too. Like for people like me, like last night was not the best example of that because I didn't know a lot of people to like kind of intro myself to other people in the industry, but it's a super great way to meet other people that are active in the industry and see what they're doing.
Yeah, definitely.
Great way to connect and network.
Dude, last night, my friend Amanda was running the round. It was the first time I did it. And she was like, hey, you want to come sing? And I was like, yeah, let's do it. So I just went and sang a couple songs. It was fun.
It was great. I had a good time.
awesome.
When we were on stage, though, I was facing the bar. So they were facing each other, and everybody was sitting in between. And the Bad News Bears was on the TV in the background. So the whole round,
That's
I was
hilarious.
actually watching Bad News Bears.
I did not realize that.
Yeah,
That is so funny. That's a great comedy movie.
great show.
American.
I've never experienced anything like that because they have live venue up in Alaska, and like there's a local band that we're gonna have on here called the Jeffries, and they're blowing up in like the Seattle, Anchorage, and Portland area, and but you would just go like, hey, we're performing here. Like they'll hand out their flyers, like, hey, come to the Blue Fox, or come to trying to remember some of the other venues like 4th Avenue or whatever. And that's how they would get their exposure.
Mm-hmm.
But you would never see like local artists like multiples on one stage unless it was like a holy shit, like a big festival.
Yeah.
Like there was a bluegrass festival that they had.
Yeah. And
like
even then, those are different than like a traditional Nashville round. It's called being in the round.
I imagine so. Okay.
But, that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if they do that like down there. I imagine they would, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, come see this. It's kind of like an old school approach to rock music because it's a lot of rock bands, and punk rock.
Well,
and
even
stuff
if
like that.
I think even if you were in Utah and a venue decides to do a round, they would probably call it a Nashville in the round or a Nashville style round, right?
Probably
really?
something like
that's
a lot
how-
of people would just say in the round. I assume in the round, like that's what I hear a lot. Like I hear ads for them, dude, on podcasts. People are like,
yeah, well, like in the South,
round.
it's pretty
Yeah,
common,
but you guys are like in
I'm
that Nashville
inside of my
bubble.
butt. I have no idea.
You're in that singer-songwriter country bubble
Yeah,
there in Nashville because it's like the capital of country music.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if that's like universal because I've never heard that term, but I'm also
right
not
now,
big.
dude. Nashville is not just country music, and it is becoming more and more and more everything by the day.
Dude, there's two lanes that we can go down with this. So part of my music business course is I'm taking a Nashville music business class.
Are you taking that with
Rains is in my class.
with Rich Barnett?
No.
Oh.
Is Rains there right now?
No,
Was that
Rains
him
is
in the
in
background?
He's in Georgia.
Georgia.
But dude,
okay.
I was learning about country music and how it came to Nashville. And country music used to be big. Like everybody recorded in Chicago, New York, and Atlanta.
That was the only place that had studios
before World War II.
Sorry, Nikki.
But that makes sense. That like back then, that's where they had.
That's where they had studios. That's where they had the infrastructure to be able to provide that.
Yeah, but Nashville.
That's where the record labels were, and that's where like all the producers were and shit like that.
Yeah. You should
take the phone call, dog. Take the phone call. Put her on the podcast. I don't know who that is. Hi, Nikki. Hey, Nikki. We're in a podcast.
All right, we're good.
But there's hip hop music being made in Nashville now. There's all kinds of stuff being made. It's just, it has a name for country music, but what is country music now? Well, not
it's pretty popular. I mean, it's pretty poppy. Like country music nowadays versus country music back in like, even just 20 years ago.
It all depends. I mean, it's coming back around. I mean, a lot of that 90s, like super
a lot of
honky-tonky type stuff, like Luke Combs and Riley Green does a lot of that kind of stuff. Like it's not that that's not still popular. There's just also new avenues for said country music to be.
Yeah, there's a
perceived.
bunch of subcategories when it comes to country music,
Yeah.
Because
same with all genres.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Like rap, right?
And I think they're continuing to evolve and like kind of transform a little bit. Like Luke Combs and Maren Morris are both really big country artists right now, but they're two completely different sounding people. So,
what would you classify your genre as?
Singer-songwriter pop.
Yeah,
we'll go with that.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good one.
It's not like mainstream Ariana Grande, Justin Bieber pop, but it's also not Bob Dylan singer-songwriter folky.
Yeah,
Is that a good?
I'd say so. I mean,
John
Yeah, I
Mayer.
mean,
I'd say
I
I'd
was
say
about to say John Mayer,
I'd say
Robin
it's
Thicke
super.
kind of stuff.
I'd say it's
Sheeran.
super
Maybe-
John Mayer, but like more focused on. How do I
got
want
like
to say
a
this?
James Blunt, like
It's very
Jack
John Mayer,
Johnson.
but more produced. Like more like there's more going on sonically. I would think from an instrumentation standpoint, like it's not just you and a guitar.
Yeah, I mean, John Mayer's a guitar player.
Yeah,
I'm not.
you know.
He's more blues.
I love it though, dude. Dude, this I couldn't even say it enough. I mean, I just love the stuff that you've got going on. It's so good.
Thanks, man.
It's really, really good stuff.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear the new stuff that you're dropping. Because
Yeah,
I really like the
I'm
new
excited to hear.
Yeah, plug that.
Share it with your friends.
song. Yeah, plug your
it,
new song.
Plug it.
Go listen to it on Spotify. When will this be out? When will this podcast
We'll probably
be
drop it Friday, right?
Yeah, we'll drop it next Friday or Saturday.
Friday
yeah.
or Saturday.
Yeah.
So it's out now.
So I have 3 songs out on Spotify. Go listen to them.
Oh wait, yeah, we can say that now because it comes
I've
out.
got 3 songs out.
Yeah.
Someone Who Loves
What
Somebody,
are they
and
going to be
then
called?
2
come out on Friday.
We released 2 on Friday, so 2 are out for whoever's listening to this right now.
Yep.
Zach Seabaugh.
At Zach Seabaugh on everything.
Yeah, go follow me on TikTok, dude.
Dude,
I gotta
taking off, low key.
I gotta jump on the TikTok train. I'm late to it.
Yeah, we do too. I'll drop a link for all your socials and your website.
Dude, you should. I mean, you should take clips from your
That's what we're
podcast
gonna
and
do.
make funny TikToks.
That's what we're gonna do.
Like this one right now.
Yeah.
Let's make one.
That was the stupidest shit I've ever seen in my life.
And that's going on TikTok.
Yeah, dude, jump on the TikTok.
Yeah, no,
That's the first TikTok.
Cabe's going to be in charge of that.
Yeah.
Cabe's going to be in charge of that. My wife has TikTok, and I refuse to download it because I already waste a lot of time on Instagram.
Your little ass would be sitting in bed up till 3 in the morning, just
dude,
like me, dude.
You're missing out on dollar bills by not being on TikTok. When it comes,
and Cabe and I were literally just talking about that.
TikTok.
I'm just saying that like that is
easy.
That
great
is
way to
a
monetize.
revenue,
yeah, for sure,
and promotion. I mean, that is a marketing platform that you were just completely not using. You know?
For sure.
Yeah,
I'm not like
we were just talking about that like 2 days
people.
ago.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
We talked about
it's you know, it was big for a while with just like the silly dancing and stuff, but like I mean, dude, people are getting record deals off of TikTok. It's wild.
I still get all the dance. My For You page now is mostly like funny comedy and stuff and music, like stupid silly comedy, and then some stand up comedy, and then tons and tons of music.
Yeah.
There's a chick that my wife and I watch. She does sleepwalking videos.
Oh my god.
And it's fucking hilarious. She has like cameras. Her and her husband have cameras all around their house now. And she sleepwalks when she eats like too much cheese or dairy products or chocolate. And she'll like purposely do it and then get clips and post them on TikTok.
That is
and I'll be laying in bed with my wife, and I'll be like watching YouTube or whatever, and she'll be like, "Oh, there's a new one. We'll watch that, and then we'll go and watch the old new one or the old ones." And then 3 hours go by, and we've watched like 200 TikTok videos.
Yeah,
dude, that's hilarious.
Dude, I and that's why I won't download it, because Cabe knows this. I'm up at 3:30 in the morning to go to work.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in bed by 7:30 p.m. and I'm usually out by 9, like asleep. So if I get TikTok, I won't get any sleep. And all my coworkers will be like, "What the fuck were you doing all night?"
Yeah, for
Just
sure.
look like shit.
What time you got to go to bed if you wake up at 3?
Like 8,
Yeah.
8 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m. at the latest. If I go to sleep any later than 9, I can feel it the next morning.
Yeah, dude, I go
It's
to bed
awful.
pretty early too.
Zach's been on an early sleep bender this past week.
Dude, I go to bed pretty early in general because I wake up early. Yeah,
I feel like every time I'm with you, I guess it's just like a Saturday and we're out doing something until like 11.
yeah. Which I mean, that's not
typical.
That's not normal for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll wake up during the week. I try and get up at 4.
God,
dude,
what? Since when?
So if I wake up at 4, I did it for a while. I haven't done it lately. But if I wake up at 4, man, and let's say on average I wake up at like 6:37, that's 3 hours of extra time that I have in my day of like fresh energy No one's up. I have no distraction, and I can grind, dude.
On what? Like homework?
Homework.
Dude, I cannot wait till I don't have freaking homework anymore, bro.
Well, the thing is that like I want to get in a routine why I don't have to get up at 4. Well, I do have to get up at 4. And then there comes a day where like just naturally I'm up at 4 and like that's 3 extra hours and I can go to the gym and it's not eating into my day.
Yeah.
And I can go to bed at 8:00 and feel like I did something.
Yeah. I mean, it's actually like super powerful to wake up early. Like I wake up early because
you
work
wake up early for work,
away.
but you wake up an hour and a half earlier than you leave. Like you wake up and you have time before you get out.
Do you have a routine? What do you do in the mornings?
So my routine
dude,
is pretty
he'll text
lazy.
me at like 3:30 when he wakes up, and I'll still be up from the night before.
Dude, I don't know how you do that.
So I'm up at 3:30, and then I generally I start the coffee. I'll make breakfast, which has lately just been like oatmeal and a protein shake, and then I just kind of like relax until I have to shower at like 4:40, 4:30 or so. I'll like check the news and watch a show. I like to like ease into my day, and then I'm out of the house by like 5:15, and then I drive, and then I start work at 7. But I try and get to the job site at 6:30, so I have parking, and then I work till 3:30, and then I'm home usually by 5:30. So I just like to get up. Yeah, but I really need to be like working out in the mornings, like doing something a little bit more active. But
dude,
I usually just chill.
If I work out in the morning, I have never gotten home from an early morning workout and been like, dang, I hate that I just did that. You know, I always feel so accomplished and like, dude, my roommates aren't even up yet.
Go in there and throw a cold bottle of water on Reigns. Wake his little ass up.
Before I did this, when I was knocking doors for Vivint, I would wake up pretty early and get a workout in.
I didn't tell you this. I'm working for Vivint again.
No shit.
Yeah, Caleb's got a team, dude.
Really?
Yeah, I was supposed to start on Tuesday, but then we got snow. What do they call it? Snowmageddon. So I didn't start.
Okay.
I guess I'll start this week now.
So are you gonna do a summer season, or are you just
no,
kind of?
I've told him. He asked me to do it, and I was like, dude, I will 10 out of 10 come work with you because I love you to death, and I do need to make money. But there's no chance that I'm going to a market over the summer. I was like, there's just not. One, I don't want to, and two, I assume that by that point we will be playing some sort of shows regularly, and we'll start having like networking meetings that are in person, and I'm not missing out on that. He's like, that's fine. He's like, I'm not going to summer market either. So
I don't think there's going to be shows over the summer.
You don't think so?
No.
Not even shows like that.
I think there will be. I think there will be.
Rounds, but that's not a show.
I mean, shows like 200, 300 cap rooms. I don't know.
I don't think so.
I also don't want to move to market over the summer.
I thought COVID was going to be over in May of
dude,
last year.
me freaking too.
So. Everyone did.
I'm not getting my hopes up.
And honestly, it could have been. It really could have been. If people just wore their masks and just stayed.
100%, dude. Look at Australia. They're having music festivals now, dude. They've been having like live concerts. They're like 80 days COVID free or something because of their whole lockdown. They still wear masks inside and stuff, but they're.
I mean, you definitely. I think that you definitely can do shows. It's just like socially, it's just not acceptable right now. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know because like venues they can't open up because like
the government won't.
There's got to be some kind of law that's. I don't know.
Go to Texas.
Dude,
go to Texas. So.
Oh yeah, they're playing huge. Did you see that?
Comedy?
They're
doing comedy shows and live venues.
Well, Texas everything is like Texas. Frozen over right now. What are you talking
that's
about?
True. That's true, but no, Texas. They're doing like they're having like tours through Texas. Midland's having like a 8 or 9 run little show run.
Really?
Yeah, Hardy. I think there's a lot of people that are like playing full on shows.
Texas, man.
Yeah, it's the Lone Star State. It was such a drastic difference because I moved up during the pandemic. And so I went from like a super conservative state to a very liberal area. And like up here, everything was shut the fuck down. Like you couldn't go to the gym. You can go to the grocery store. When I first moved here for like the first 2 months, you could go to a restaurant and like as long as you wore a mask, You
Can
could
you
sit
do
down
that
in a
now?
restaurant. Now they just opened it back up like a week ago. Like for Valentine's Day, they had like limited capacity seating inside. And so now you can go to a restaurant, you can sit down and order food and eat. But for like a solid
Dude,
like two
that's
and a half
crazy
months,
because we had lockdown. I want to say we had a lockdown from like May to like July, where we couldn't sit in restaurants, and then everything like opened back up restaurant wise, and now nobody even.
I ate at a restaurant. I ate at a restaurant yesterday,
Where'd you?
and
that
then we
Mexican
went
place.
to the writers' round where
Dude, there was. I'll be honest. There was no one wearing a mask in that place last night. I was surprised. I was really, really surprised, honestly, because of where we were, like downtown, pretty much. But
I don't want to come across as the person that like contributes to the problem, but I wear my mask when I'm told to and stuff. So hopefully,
I've also already had COVID, so I'm not worried about giving it to anyone. I'll be completely honest, but that's my perspective. I'm not Seabaugh. I cannot speak for him.
like I don't know the
Yeah,
thing about antibodies and all that, but
Have you had it?
yeah.
I've never been tested positive.
Okay.
No.
My thing is that, if you're going to like the grocery store or you're going to be somewhere like crowded, it's just like a good idea.
Just wear it.
Just wear a mask.
Dude,
Yeah,
grocery store, all that
it's a
stuff.
good idea.
I still wear a mask.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but like, like
I think it's good to
when
wear a
my wife
mask
and
in
I go
grocery
on
stores anyways, dude. Germs.
yeah, they're
Or like
disgusting.
any store.
But yeah, but if you're going like my wife and I will go on bike rides around the town, I'm not wearing a fucking mask.
Yeah.
I'm not going to wear a mask.
You're not stopping
if I'm
and
going,
talking to strangers.
Yeah.
no, like if
Dakota,
I'm
tell
walking
him
down the
about that
street,
old
I'm not
man
gonna
you
wear a
saw
mask.
in the mall in like November.
Oh my god! So this poor guy. I went Black Friday. I went to the mall with my buddy. He wanted to buy a video game, so we're waiting in line at GameStop at the mall, and half the people were wearing masks, half the people weren't. And I saw this man. He had to been in his like late 80s, early 90s, walking with a fucking what are those?
Oxygen
Not a
tank.
ventilator, but like oxygen tank. No mask. I'm like, bro, you can barely breathe as it is. Like, why are you at the mall? Cabe, I saw this guy again. My wife and I went to the mall
It was the
somewhere
same
around
dude?
December. Same dude. I think it's like his routine.
Oh.
And he'd walk around, no mask, same oxygen tank. And I'm like, dude, you can barely get around as it is. He was not in like good shape.
Yeah.
Like, dude looked rough.
Yeah, if he's carrying an
Like-
oxygen mask or oxygen tank, he's probably not in the best shape of his life.
Yeah,
No,
man.
he's asking for like a death sentence. It's like, dude, you're going to a mall, which is like notoriously disgusting anyways.
Yeah.
Right. And then during this pandemic, like you're the one who's like you're the statistic that people are worried about catching it and dying.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about catching it and dying from it. The only thing I'm worried about, I have ferrets and they can contract COVID and they'll die from it. Right. That's literally the only thing I'm worried about. My wife and I we're in relatively okay shape where we're not going to like die if we get COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Dude,
might get sick.
I honestly, I don't remember the last time I heard of someone having COVID. Like one of my friends. I guess we've all just had it.
I mean,
But-
if you're not around, for the most part, you're probably around the same people all the time. So
Yeah.
it's
I live
not
in a
a problem,
fraternity house
but-
too. We've all had it,
Yeah.
and
I
all of
know
our,
quite
all
a bit
the
of people
girls-
that have been affected by it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know anyone directly that's passed away from it. Like anyone that, like one of my mom's best friends from high school, I think's dad passed away or something, and that's like not. I had never met her best friend, much less her father.
I mean,
but
regardless whether you know somebody or not, it stinks that that's.
it is horrible. I
My
agree.
sister's an ICU.
Actually-
my sister's an ICU nurse, and it stinks that that's like, people
Yeah.
are dealing with that. That's
Talking about like passing away, actually, a buddy of mine just passed away, AJ Colding.
From
Rest in
COVID?
peace, dude. Shout out. I don't know. Actually, I've been trying to get answers. He passed away last week.
Dang, I'm sorry, man.
Up in Alaska. And dude, it was like weird. Like I wasn't really close with him, but like, would hang out a few times. He was really close with
he
one of my
had some
fraternity brothers
impact
and
on your
roommates.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, he was just a cool guy, and he actually has a YouTube channel. It's AJ Colding II or something like that. I'll plug it in the links. But Dude, it's weird. Like when someone, no matter if it's COVID or not, like we're still at a young age. When someone passes away, right, and they're around your age, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, what happened? It's such a surreal thing.
Yeah.
And with the pandemic, I guess more people have been passing away lately.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
I was talking to my girlfriend about that, how it's so easy to like grow numb to the fact that people are no longer with us. It's weird.
it's true. My grandparents-in-law down in Laredo, Texas, they're in their 80s. And when my wife and I lived down there, every Friday we grab lunch with them. It was like a traditional thing. And every week they're going to a wake or a funeral or something. Like, oh, what'd you guys do? Oh, went to Costco or went to Sam's Club. That's what's down there. And then we went to a wake. I'm like, geez, I could only imagine like being at that age where just everyone's dying.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
all your friends and like colleagues and associates around that age are just, they're hitting their limit on life. And we're in our 20s, and it's not, people aren't supposed to be passing away left and right.
Yeah.
And when they do, it like catches you off guard.
It
It's like,
does
holy
catch
shit.
you off guard. Very much so.
It's a reality check.
Very much so.
Yeah.
That life is finite. You got to live it up.
Yeah. It's weird. It's weird how often you can go to sleep thinking, just assuming that you're going to wake up the next day,
Every day of your life till the end of it. It's crazy.
Yeah, there was a philosopher named David Hume that had a famous quote, and I'm gonna butcher it, so all my philosophy colleagues like don't catch me on this. But it was like, just because the sun rose yesterday doesn't determine its rising tomorrow or today or something like that. And it's like, it's true. I mean, it may rise, but you may not be there to see it.
Yeah.
Or maybe we just blow up, or the sun blows up, or some random
and
shit.
To settle
some
the
crazy
dust.
philosophical thing.
Yeah, settle the dust before you go to sleep. I hate going to sleep knowing that like
someone's mad at you or something.
Someone's mad at me.
Me
or
too,
that,
dude.
Like, there's some kind of situational issue going on. I hate that because
I agree. I could not agree more.
I don't want to.
Especially like my wife and I, we try not to go to bed angry. Because I'm a grumpy bear when I'm trying to go to sleep, and she's home all day, so she has all this energy, and I'm just like trying to go to sleep. It's 7:30, right? I'm trying to go to sleep. She goes, "Watch this, look at this," or da 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 da. And we always try and squash shit before we go to sleep. And there's there's a time limit. Like, I need to be asleep by 9, so we need to hash whatever the hell's going on within this time frame. And we always feel better about that, because if you go to bed angry, whether it's your significant other or a friend or maybe a coworker or whatever, it doesn't sit right.
Yeah.
And I don't even sleep if I'm having. Never. Well, Zach, thank you so much. I think we're gonna wrap this up. As it's
this was
dinner
dope.
time for me.
Good ass episode.
Like a early dinner.
Honestly, this is a really good episode.
Appreciate the convo, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. You're always welcome on.
By the time you hear this, Same Moon will be released, as well as
Heartbreak Is Different.
So 3 songs out. Zach Seabaugh on Spotify and Apple Music.
All the best on your endeavors with the podcast and everything. That's dope, dude. I love podcasting. I actually I listen to podcasts more than I listen to music, I think.
I do too. Definitely do.
Same.
Definitely.
Yeah. What podcast? So we'll finish with this. What podcast do you listen to?
Joe Rogan. I listen to Chris D'Elia a lot before he kind of got canceled.
What did he get canceled for? What happened?
Minors.
I don't know if it's true or not, but yeah, there were
like sexual accusations.
Yeah.
Okay.
With minors and stuff like that.
Oh my god.
Which is unfortunate because he was a really funny guy.
Yeah, I watch a lot of listen to a lot of comedian stuff. But Joe Rogan, he's on Spotify, and when I'm driving in the car, I like, that's bad to say, but I like having the video up there to reference to. If it's somebody he's talking to that I'm not familiar with, I like seeing a face.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I listen to him every morning when I'm driving to work. Yeah. And then I'll re-listen to old episodes of this just to see how like we've progressed.
Yeah.
Especially like the difference between Cave being on and me just being solo, it's a huge difference.
Dude, the first time we ever recorded together, we couldn't figure out how to like get it to work or something. And so I called him and he was on the phone and I had earbuds plugged into my phone and then I was recording into GarageBand and he was doing the same thing and he just sent me his WAV file and I spliced them together.
I mean,
Yep.
did that not work very well?
No, it worked great. I put a little reverb on it. And
it probably sounded
honestly,
really good.
it probably
Is that
sounded
what y'all
better
do?
than
What do
these.
y'all do now?
This is called Zencaster.
So
It's like a
So it's a podcasting website.
yeah.
Gotcha.
So you can do all virtually.
And
So like when we did Daniel Miller's, he was the third. Like you could do up to like 5 people, I think. So it's 3 channel, like 3 audio channels.
Oh.
Yeah,
How was the Dan? I'll have to listen to it.
it's
I like Daniel
that's a
Miller.
really good
It's
episode.
good.
Too.
He's a cool guy. He's
It's
been
good. It's
he's been really nice to me.
Yeah.
And
Second,
my friend,
great guy.
So
Yeah, Daniel was really cool. Yeah, Zencaster has changed everything because now with the whole video, we got into the beta version of this video aspect of it where now it records locally. So like right now it's in
Like he's a little grainy. Like his will like, but his is like his video is recording to his computer. So like
in high def.
and so is mine. Mine's recording to my computer in high def. So then like you put them together. It's like a cloud
gotcha. So
folder
it's
thing.
not capturing. I get what you're saying.
It's not like
It's
lag. It doesn't lag it at
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, it's recording locally, but then it allows us to stream. And one of these days, when Lakota figures out how to,
I love that you just said that in
Post
third
long.
form or third.
I have to because I don't know how to do this like the long form on YouTube because I had some like 5-minute clips that I would do on YouTube and it took like an hour to upload that. I can only imagine.
I'll go through and try and figure that out tonight when I get home. If I don't have homework.
Yeah.
I think I have homework actually. It might be tomorrow.
Yeah, whenever.
It'll
I'll be at
buff.
work tomorrow, so I'll let you figure it out.
It'll buff.
It'll buff. Well, yeah, Zach, thanks again, man.
Yeah,
Okay,
dude.
love you, bro.
Love you too, brother.
And listeners, this will be up. Check out Zach's new songs coming out, or they will be out.
They'll be
and,
out Friday.
Yeah, we'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye, y'all.
Deuces.